Hello, my name is Tyler Hall, and this is the first week of the playoffs. The playoffs of the Final Orgy Fantasy Football League. F.O.F.F.L. 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 F.O.F.F.L.
All right, good evening. Welcome to round one of the playoffs. Before we get into that, let's cover week 14 and what a disaster it was. We'll start it off here with Tony up against the SICKBOYs. SICKBOYs, 69 points. Not surprising, but it is surprising that Tony got 117 points, which put him into the bye week of the first round of the playoffs. Unbelievable. He went from not being in the playoffs to bye week in the playoffs. Not even going to cover this one. Tony won it. Moving on. Here's a game here. By almost clinched a playoff position. Steely Dan almost got that with a whopping 171 points. Fantastic showing here. Evan Ingram, top scorer, fantasy points. If he would have played Trevor and Jerry Jeudy, you're looking at 200 plus points, and that could have set him. I don't know the math. I mean, he might have gotten in the playoffs. I don't think so though. Tanner, 90 points, still in the playoffs. Trey out of the playoffs. SICKBOYs out of the playoffs. Their season's over. Onto the consolation bracket. Marcos went from first place to out of the playoffs. He had a bye week in the playoffs projected the entire season, and he showed up with 64.3 points. A lot of injuries. Ramondre Stevenson went out. Jeff Wilson went out. T. Higgins, 0 points. Not sure what. I think he went out. Tua had a terrible game. Preston in the playoffs. Let's go. Jason squeezed into it, but he's in the playoffs. Here's where Trey could have got into the playoffs here. He could have outscored Jason. Not 100% sure that would have been close. It would have been close. Probably a couple points off. I think Jason just squeezed in. But he's in. He's in. Chris beats a great week 14 here for Chris. Got his third victory there. Beat Michael, who has got all the confidence in the world to take this championship. But anything can happen. It's the playoffs. Let's take a look at it. Let's look at the bracket here. We got 9-5, number one in the league, Mr. Jack carries on a bye week. Tony got that bye week. Then you've got the first little brackets here. You got Mike up against Tanner, and you got Jason up against Pepto Pill Poppin' Peter. Let's look at the scoreboard here. Let's take a look at these numbers. Let's start with Mike and Tanner here. Obviously, no game of the week because there's only really two matchups that matter. Let's see. Mike's projected 128 points as per usual. Tanner with 114. Let's look at the advantages. Previous matchup, Mike hit the top score with 180.64 up against a pretty good number at 131. But those are numbers there, man. Josh Jacobs is questionable. Tyreek Hill is questionable. And Freiermuth is questionable. Trouble in paradise over here for the bare naked butt spankings. What's going on with JJ over here? Any news? He did go out. I think he had that elbow injury or wrist injury, whatever. No, it was shoulder, shoulder injury, but he went back into the game. He'll play. Josh Jacobs projected 18 points. He's got Joe Burrow up against Tampa. That's going to be a football slinging matchup. Jacob is up against New England. Pretty good defense there. Kenneth Walker looks like he's going to be coming back. Tyreek Hill, questionable, but they always do this at the end of the season. Everybody's questionable. I'm sure all these people will play. Let's look over here at Tanner's team. Is he playing Deshaun Watson? Oh, okay. Deshaun Watson up against Baltimore. Austin Eckler up against Tennessee. Najee. He's only got 3 advantages to Mike's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 advantages as far as player versus player here. Mari Cooper, questionable. Mike Evans. Ooh, I don't know. I'm taking Mike on this one. Faux show. Let's look at the other matchup here. Jason projected 120 to Peter's 128. This is going to be a good one to watch here. We got Patrick Mahomes up against Jalen Hurts. Aaron Jones up against Nick Chubb. Ooh, it's going to be tight. Justin Jefferson at Indy's defense. Stephon Diggs in Miami defense. Whoa. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. It'd be crazier if the Sick Boys were in the playoffs, but, sometimes things don't work out the way you want it to work out. So let's go back to the bracket here. I'm taking Peter on this one. Where's my bracket at? Did I lose it? I think I lost it. Oh boy, what did I do here? How did I find that? Schedule. Excuse me here. It's gonna be a quick, basic one here. Fucking cat. Let's see here. Let's look at the playoff bracket. So the winner of Mike and Tanner is going to face, as far as I think this is how the bracket works. Nobody ever knows. So I believe it's going to be Mike up against Jack, and then it'll be potentially Jason versus, I don't know. This is a tough one here. Winner of these two going up against Tony, and then I foresee it's going to be Mike versus Pepto Pill Poppin' Peter in the championship match. And you guys heard it last week. Literally, this is Preston's year. Who knows? Good luck to you guys. Let's look at the consolation bracket for shits and giggles. I'm taking Trey on this one, and I'm obviously going to take myself on this one. Still a chance for if I lose every single consolation bracket and Chris wins every single consolation bracket, that would make me, I think it would be a tie for last place. I'm 6-8. He's 3-11. So if I lose 3, that'll be me 6-11, and he'd be 6-11 with a total score. I got 1566. He's got 1536. This is the matchup. Number 9 versus 10. Who gets that pink belt? The world keeps on turning. All right. Stay safe. Stay smart. Peace out. Took a lick in the mirror, said what's up, yeah, I'm getting money, oh, turn my swag on, yeah, my son and turn it up, yeah, I put my team on, yeah, my team. 2nd and 10, Mayfield. To the end zone to Jefferson. Is that possible? Touchdown. This is impossible. They go 98 yards. That's good for 23.